Today we're in Kent, a little village off the M20 called Detling. We're going to head forward past the telephone box. Near the pub we're going to turn right on the road and then head up towards the North Downs way, towards Hollingbourne, back down the Pilgrim's way, turn into Thurnham and then back to Detling. We walk up the village till we get to the Cockhorse pub. Immediately opposite the pub we turn right. Signpost says Thurnham. So we're heading down the road now, North Downs way, walking towards the end of the village, looking for a left turn. At the end of the village there's a tiny bit of parking, enough for a couple of cars. Just past there, on your left hand side, we see the gap in the hedge. So we turn left and we're walking up the field, uphill, towards the wood. As we go through the gap we see we've a couple of walkers in front of us. Let's take the zoom off. We keep getting a bit of sun now and again in between the clouds, so just at the moment the sun's coming out, so we'll take a couple of shots. We're steadily going uphill, walking across the front of them houses, and that's where we're going, following the North Downs way. This is a new walk on us. Just before we get going on the North Downs way, we'd like to say hello to David R. Seeger from New York, America. David's told me in an email that his great-grandfather emigrated to America, but his father, Edward Seeger, born 1846 and died in 1892, would have been very familiar with this landscape because he lived at Thurnham, which we're going to visit later on. Today we're pleased to say that we're walking in David R. Seeger's great-great-grandfather's footsteps, Edward Seeger. We hope the hills haven't changed much since his day. We'll keep heading forward and we'll be back to you. We're just walking at the side of White Horse Wood now. There's a fair bit of breeze on up here because we're on the top of the downs, but it's quite warm. We're just heading forward. When I said you keep heading forward, I forgot to tell you that was downhill and back up the other side. As we walk along we look down below and we see like a beautiful little farmhouse and buildings round it. We just keep walking till we get to the road and then we turn right, slightly downhill. Just head downhill for a couple of minutes. Road veers off sharp right. On your left hand side you've got your signpost, North Downs way. So we turn left on the bend, but it's a great view is this. Good place to take a picture if you've got your camera with you. We see on the left hand side that there's a castle here. It says Thurnham Castle. We're going to go up here and see if we can find it. You're walking with a taxi driver today. Straight in front, look at the view, fantastic. We're just walking down these like leafy glades through the edge of the wood with the downs on our left hand side, but I can see a beautiful butterfly in front, so let's zoom in, see if I can get it. No, it's gone. Well, we just keep heading forward. Sun's coming out now, we're in for a great day today. As we walk along we come to like a gate in front of us. We look to our left, we can see a sign there that says Thurnham Castle. Up them steps, well, we think it's worth a look, seems we've come all this way. So up we go. Well, here we are, we're at the top of Thurnham Castle now. We're going to have a look round. As we go round we're going to take a photograph wherever we've got an opening in the trees, and that looks pretty good to me, does that? As you can see we're following the little path, and if we find anything up here we'll take a shot to let you see how it looks. We can see we've got like a plaque in front of us, so we'll take a shot of that and then we should be able to see what the castle looked like in its heyday. We see there's some wall on your right hand side, we'll take a shot of that in a minute. When we get to this plaque we see it's the Thurnham Castle position. We can see Millgate Park, Chart Sutton, Beardshead, M20, Corbier Hall, St Mary's Church, Channel Tunnel, rail link, Thurnham Roman Villa and motor park. And then we look behind us and that's all that's left of Thurnham Castle. But I'm sure if I were David's great-great-grandfather in my younger days, I would have come up looking at things like this. It's a fabulous place, the view and everything else. And there's just a quick look what the castle looked like in its heyday. It was a ringwork and bailey castle. Well, we'll make that do. We've got to press on with a lot of walking to do yet. We make our way back down onto the path, walk through the gate and keep heading forward. We just keep walking along uphill. Near the top we turn right, following the North Down Way, and that's the view there. We're just walking along the left hand side, and as you can see when you make it up towards the top, straight away you start heading down towards the bottom again. But we keep heading forward. There's a fair breeze on today, but we've got a nice gap here in the trees as we go through, so we think that's a great shot. Well, we're slowly heading downhill again, and I dare say when we get there it'll be back up. It's just up, down, up, down, up, down. And here we are, back up the steps at the other side, and they're pretty steep as well. It doesn't look like it on the camera, but believe me, they are. We keep walking along till we come to the road, cross straight over and up the other side. We're out on the top now for a while, but I dare say I'll be going back down again. But the countryside is absolutely stunning, fantastic. Well, we'll keep going forward. We're coming out into some open fields now. We've got the North Downs on our left hand side, and we've got some cows ahead of us. But as you can see, the scenery in Kent is pretty good. We walk forward 200 yards down to the track, and then we turn left. Keep walking, the path bends round to the left. We're following the red arrow, North Downs way. Because we're on the edge of the downs, the wind's blowing from our right hand side. There isn't a lot of room as we walk along with the overhanging trees, and we hear a noise behind us. It's a Land Rover. We can't believe it, but he's making it through. We keep walking uphill until we see a fallen tree in front of us. Just to the right hand side we've got a post with a yellow arrow turning right saying North Downs Way. So we're making our way along the top of the ridge, following the footpath, heading towards Hollingbourne. As you head forward across the top of the downs, you'll come to a post with a couple of arrows on again, but just keep following the North Downs Way. We bear left. We're out the wood again into some clear sort of flower meadows. We just keep heading forward. We're just coming up to the road now, and we decide to turn round and take a quick shot of the North Downs where we walked. So we're at the road, we just go straight over, following the North Downs Way. We'll just take a quick shot down here, even though it is a bit breezy. We're looking for a right turn now. We keep walking till we come to a track. We turn right there and follow it downhill towards Allington Farm. So we're just following the track downhill through the woods. As we walk down the leafy track, we see a bit of an opening, and we just poke our camera in looking and just have a quick shot there. And then as we walk down a bit nearer to the farm buildings, we suddenly see this head pop out. He's gone. We just walk by the side of the farm. We make our way towards the road and then turn right. We're heading towards Thurnham now. We're walking along the Pilgrim's Way, and just in front of us we spot a tiny snake there, look. He does look a bit worse for wear. In other words, we think he's been run over. And we'll leave him at that. As we walk along the Pilgrim's Way, we look to our right along the North Downs. And then to our left, as we walk along the Pilgrim's Way, and it is very quiet down here, we come to Broad Street, and just in front of us we've got Ruby's Barn, and very nice it is too. Just past Ruby's Barn, on our left hand side, we've got an old oast house. We're still going through Broad Street, we've passed that oast house, and I'd like to think one or two of these buildings were about when Edward Seager walked this way in the 1900s. Hopefully we're retracing some of his footsteps. We're more or less at the end of the village now. We've just popped into a field to take a quick shot, and we've got a tiny little dog coming up to see us now. There he is. Come on, lad. Come on then. He looks an old un, does this. There he goes, onto the road. We're steadily walking along the Pilgrim's Way towards Thurnham. Look to our left, and them horses through the trees. This could be 1850, 1900. There's not a lot changed here, really. Fantastic shot, that. This would have been a view that Edward Seager would have known very well, this. Because all there was in the 1850s to 1900 were horse transport, basically. Or bulk of it, anyway. We've left the horses. We're heading forward. It's just a narrow little track, is this. Single track road, but it's very quiet. We've seen a couple of bikes and the odd car, but you know, it's pretty safe to walk, is this. And you get the feeling that this track's been here forever. And it probably has. We're still on the Pilgrim's Way. We've got to the crossroads, but we keep heading straight forward. We can see a sign that says Thurnham, 3/4 of a mile. As we walk along towards Thurnham, on our left hand side we've a gap in the hedge. We look through the hedge, we can see an oast house there. And just to the left hand side we've got like an old sort of farm building that's brick down below. It looks like wooden structure above it. We don't know what it is, obviously. Well, we'll leave that for now. We'll keep going down the Pilgrim's Way. We're just coming into Thurnham now. There's a lovely old sort of beamed house on your left hand side. I can't get far enough back because of the hedge to get a decent shot. So we're having to film it in two halves, really. It looks as if it's derelict at the moment, but it might not be. Well, here's the Black Horse Inn at Thurnham. It's on the Pilgrim's Way. They do bed and breakfast. We'll see if we can get a better shot of it. And there's the Black Horse Inn from the front. Just before the pub on your left hand side, got a massive old, looks Tudor or whatever building with beams. Certainly very old. It's called Thurnham Friars, so it probably belonged to the monks or something. We don't know. You know, this is a new walk for us, but it's beautiful to look at. In between the pub and Thurnham Friars, we turn left going downhill. We're walking down Thurnham Lane towards Thurnham Village now. We walk down the road 300 or 400 yards. On our right hand side there's like a white sort of a bungalow. We turn down the side of there. The footpath sign says to St Mary's Church. We're heading towards St Mary's Church. Here we are now looking at St Mary's Church from the side. And the path goes along the side of the churchyard. We come out at the gate at the other end. And this is the back of the church. And it's the view towards the downs. Looking round at the ages on some of these graves, I'm sure David's great-great-grandfather was looking at the exact view that I'm looking at now in the 1900s. As you can see, Thurnham Church and graveyard is certainly a beautiful place. We don't know if you can see this, but David R. Seeger, and we've got Harriet Seeger Dunk there. Whether you're related, I don't know. I'm just going to stand back and give you a look at this grave. It looks to me as if they've had 5 children between them, and there's the cross and the 4 little headstones, 2 either side. Oh well, we'll leave it for now. As you walk out the churchyard, you'll come out onto a tarmac track. Look to your left hand side and you'll see a gate in the hedge. We go through there and we're heading back towards Detling now. As you go through the gate, walk straight forward. We're walking through the sweet corn. In the distance you'll see like a spire. We just head forward to the end of the field and we'll be back into Detling. We hope you've enjoyed our walk along the North Downs to Allington Farm, back along the Pilgrim's Way, through Broad Street and Thurnham. You've been walking with a taxi driver today.